other panelists for a men's show, for men, by men, about men. Let's welcome Mr. Roland Friedl. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacqueline. Great to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. And I'm super excited for the men's show for tomorrow and the show we just had with JC, and now for this Talking Heads episode.
Yeah, me too. This I love using Global TV and radio. It's as I always say, it's like coming home, and it's not like working. I'm always super excited, or I'm preparing, because I was doing my setup here in my RV or wherever I'm just am, and getting ready, getting prepared, and share with the audience and share with my colleagues and or doing interviews or whatever it is. It's just wonderful.
Well, thank you so much. And you're truly wonderful. And as you know from what I said in the beginning, I trust you implicitly. And that's why I feel so confident about you being the first person outside of me to actually help us take this platform to another level. So bravo to you.
Yeah, thanks for your confidence and trusting me. And yeah, it's an honor for me. I highly appreciate it.
All right. Well, I'll let you get to your presentation. Would you like your deck up now, or are you going to speak for a few minutes first?
Yeah, I do a short intro and then bring the deck up,
Okay.
please.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good show.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. For those who already joined all the other episodes, welcome back to Talking Heads. Actually, we're already on module 2 with 12 episodes and performance under pressure. For those who are newer of you, join us for the first time. My name is Roland Friedl, and maybe you recognize from my accent, I'm not a native American English or a British English speaker. I'm raised and born in a beautiful, small but beautiful country in the middle of Europe, in Austria, which I left early after school. And I always see myself as a world traveler. I always was eager to learn. In my childhood, reading. There was no internet, stuff like that. And as soon as I could travel, I was traveling around the world, meeting different cultures, getting in touch with different cultures, with different opinions, with different aspects of living, and even with different aspects of business. And well, I guess almost 3 decades ago, besides other business I was building up. So I had a normal career, universities. I say universities because it was university in Graz, in Vienna, in Spain, and at Athens in the US. As I said, I was always willing to learn. And I started a career in business, become one of the youngest member of board of director of a huge company. I was in sales as a salesperson, as a sales manager, in different aspects in marketing, stuff like that. I started my own businesses around the globe. And besides that, I was always driven to support other entrepreneurs and other executive managers too. Because I remember when I was training my own staff, I brought external trainers on board to train my staff, my management team, my sales teams, my back office teams. I was not happy with the outcome. There was too much theory, not enough practical access to the topics. So I started to train my own staff, my own executive management and sales teams and back office team. And this was so successful that other people came from other companies and said, hey, can you train for us? And I remember that Xerox came to me. I was working for Xerox. I still do over 20 years. Actually, next week we start a huge rollout in the US and Canada. And other companies came to me. So I started this training, coaching, consulting company, and I really loved it. I absolutely loved it. I'm absolutely into it. And it changed a little bit the last 2 years because what we all experienced the last 2 years. So it's less flying, it's more online. What I also appreciate because it gives me the chance to work from the most beautiful places in the world. I love to live and spend time, like traveling around Europe right now in my motorhome and my RV. So I stream from there, but I also do all my workshops, all my trainings, all my coachings, clients interactions right now online from my RV. And sometimes I meet them in person when I'm just around in a city. Okay, that's me. Shortly, if you want to connect with me, you will see it when we bring up the text now on my website. As I have so many different backgrounds and a broad offering because of my experience, I mean, over many years. I'm 50, becoming 58 this year, and I was always working and exploring. I have a main website. It's my name, rolandfriedl.com. So if you're not watching, if you're listening, maybe through a radio station or podcast, I will spell it for you. It's www.rolandfriedl.com. My name, Roland Friedl from top. And then from there, you can link when you're more business driven, when you're running your own organization as a single entrepreneur, or you're in charge for an international organization or a startup. You need advice, coaching, consulting, interim management. Then you link from there to spartanperformancesystems.com. And if you have other coaching stuff or man stuff, you can go to the other website. But here we are talking heads. It's my business channel. And as I said before, it's already my module 2. So as we started a few months ago, actually. And we are module 2, and the name of the module is Performance Under Pressure. Because I strongly believe, from my own experience with my work with many organizations and the leaders worldwide, the prime issue, no matter if it's in business or privately, or you're in sports, or you're a musician in arts or whatever it is the prime issue is control of attention, where your focus goes. Yeah, it's all about increased control. Where is your focus? And we had different episodes. So if you missed all other episodes before, then just maybe you go on USA Global TV or on YouTube, where all the live shows are recorded too, and you can listen to them. If you hear some noise behind in the background, maybe it's because right now it's heavily raining here, where I'm just situated with my motorhome on North Austria, close to the port of Czechoslovakia. It's heavy raining now, and you can hear it on the roof. So sorry for that. This is just Mother Nature, and this is this is live, this is real, this is authentic, and this is uncut. So the whole module, as I said, is performance under pressure. And as I said, the prime issue is control of attention. We had different topics. We have been talking about increased control versus reduced control. We've been talking about main task of a manager. We talked about the performance triangle, how to give feedback, doing review processes, control of attention by itself. What does it mean? How you get control of attention yourself or your team members. We have talking about negative content loops, how you realize that somebody is in a negative mood, is not on task. What are the pressure points was an episode. What triggers people to get into this negative mood. We're talking about mental strength, what we need on mental strength. Then actually last week we had a summarize of some of the episodes. And now we're already on episode number 9, Emotional Drivers. And for those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who already joined all the other episodes before, I do it using a methodology that's called the format system. You can call it the format system. I think that is very worth, and I always use it because it takes care about how people learn, how people listen. And it's always 4 aspects. It's the why. Why should I listen? Why should I learn something? It's what do I learn? What is it? Yeah. What is it about? How we are using it, how we are doing it. And then the future check. How can I adapt it to my work? So also emotional drivers, I always try to do it under these 4 aspects. Why is it important to be aware of emotional drivers? What is it? How you're doing with it? How you're dealing with it? And what if I adapt this to make it work for myself in my work, or even for my team? Before we keep going, I want to stretch out something that is very important for me, because not always, but many times I experience when I train something, when I coach something, especially on emotions, on mental strength, on emotional drivers, on success points, on negative content, on control of attention. Please, if you want to bring this through your life, if you want to make this happen for you, that you have a more successful, a more joyful, and a more powerful life, please start first of all working on yourself. Not saying, oh, this is cool, I have a team member in my mind, he could or she could or he whatever could use this, I have to coach it. Please don't try to coach in therapy, or let's say your team members from the beginning. No, first of all, use these tools for yourself, implement them, become a better version of yourself, I said, and then if you want, you can do a coaching on your team members if you're coaching experience. As we say, see one first, do one and then teach one. Okay, so not starting immediately after the show. Say, oh, I got a coaching therapy. My team members. No, I highly recommend start first with yourself. Okay, so why is it important to take care about emotional travel? Well, the point is, the first step in getting on task, which will be episode number 11, by the way, before being on task yourself, your team members, before stepping on task, meaning staying focused, doing the work that has to be done, whatever it is. And the first step is, before you can do it, is getting out of the red zone, meaning the hot zone, the high emotional and negative zone, into what is called the blue zone, and a very focused one where there's clarity, where based on data, based on information, and where you and your team is stepping forward. So that's why it is so important. Yeah, you cannot focus. You cannot focus on your task when you don't get out of the red zone. And to get out of this red zone, as I said in the negative content loop, when your team members are triggered by pressure points, and as I said before, please go back to YouTube after the show if you missed some of the shows, and listen or watch to the recordings of negative content loop, pressure points, and mental strength. Okay, so emotional drivers, and then we go into this emotional drivers. What exactly are emotional drivers? First of all, to give you a short summary, emotional drivers can be many, but the most important, they are filters. So emotional drivers, where they come from. So maybe the second step, after we said the first step is getting on task, meaning getting out of the red zone, getting out of the heat into clarity. Some call it the blue zone. To work on task. The second step, I think, is to get your bearings of focusing on the overview of, and making decisions about priorities. You have to decide. And the third step is to focus on and execute a specific task with recurrent checks, overcoming and repeating recurrent checks back to the overview to make sure you or your team members remain on track. But first of all, as I said, okay, focus on emotional drivers. Emotional drivers have different background. First of all, it's significance. So maybe it's part of identity, maybe it's self-definition, maybe there are filters. It can be self-definition, it can be filters, can be part of identity. So the significance of emotional drivers, the backgrounds. Emotional drivers also give direction. You know, there are people, and maybe you see this from yourself or observe it on yourself or on team members or family members. Their direction can be towards or away. I will explain it. Towards mean you are heading to a goal, to something better. Yeah, my goal is, for example, to increase my outcome. My goal is to become a better version of myself. My goal is to, I don't know, increase my market shares by 5% by the end of the year. My goal is, so you're heading towards something. And the other way is versus is away. Yeah. It's not about good or bad. It's just different. Okay. Away is I don't want to lose clients. I don't want this. I don't want to get away from this. I want to get away from this. I want, you're getting away. So there's towards or away. And as I said, it's not about, it's this towards is better. Some people say, yeah, towards, you're not focused, goal driven. Towards, in business, you have to be successful, in sales, get towards. Not, it's not about that. Of course, it sounds more positive when you go towards something, go towards a goal, than escaping or getting away from something. But away can be very helpful. Given another example, when your house is burning, your office under fire, when it's burning, believe me, away is a good strategy. Okay, so away can be a good strategy in different events. Okay, it's not always about towards. Away can also be a good strategy. Okay, so emotional drivers can be giving direction, meaning towards something or away. It can also be about, I want to feel this emotion, or I don't want to feel this. Okay, I want to feel happy, but I don't want to feel sad. I want to feel whatever. Okay, there also people are expressing themselves when we talk about emotions. Some people say, I want to feel this. Yeah. So they're towards something. I want to feel this positive emotion. Or the other people, they're more away at and they express themselves by saying, I don't want to feel this negative emotion. To be said, I don't want to feel jealousy. I don't want to feel anger or rage or whatever it is. Okay. So that two also direction means also feeling in different ways. I want this feeling or I don't want this feeling. Okay. And there are other specific drivers where we don't too deep. If you want to go deeper, dive deeper, and you say, okay, I realize for myself, for my team, emotions are so important because actually in the word emotion, it's E and motion. Motion is movement. It's inside. Yeah? Without emotion, there is no going forward. And just today, I had a video conference with a French company. It was the European and African manager, the HR manager from Paris, and one of the GMs. I had the pleasure to do a lot of coaching with this person, and we still keep going on. And we had a Zoom call about a summarize about the last coaching sessions, about the progress. So I was talking about the progress of the client. The client was talking about the progress. The manager and the HR manager were talking about the expectations and so on and so on. And then what we keep going. And then something came up that the manager said, to the GM, but you know what you have to work on is your emotions, because last time you have been shouting at me. And I said, stop. I said, emotions, it's not about suppressing emotion. Emotions are so important. Also in business, we have to express our emotions, but without making the other person responsible for it. It's keeping our responsibility. We are responsible for our emotion. What I always say, it doesn't matter what somebody else is saying or doing. It's me, how I react. And I said to this manager, no, it's not about suppressing emotion. Okay, maybe the client, I don't know, maybe it was a bit too loud because it was too much for this person. This person was overwhelmed, so the emotions came up. It's okay. It's always good to express emotion so the other person can react on this. But expressing emotion, I really repeat, it's important, without making the other person responsible for your emotion. It's just your reaction. It's your reaction. You're responsible for your emotional reaction. Okay, good. So emotional drivers also come from discomfort. Okay, like perseverance or from conditioning, maybe from negative belief systems or from reads of passages. So that's emotional drivers. So when we think about, okay, how we're dealing it, or what can we learn from emotional drivers, where to focus on, maybe I give you some definitions on the slide you were seeing. So in the middle, we have emotional drivers. And as I said before, it's filters. They are filters, meaning when you have positive emotion, it goes upwards. Positive emotion, like when you trust, then you go towards something, you want to achieve something, you want to feel something positive. But a filter can also be in a negative way, downwards, where the red zone, and this goes away from fear, from trust, it goes to fear, from anxiety. Meaning, for example, what I say, away. I want to go away from something. I want to escape. I'm resisting. I don't want to feel this negative emotion. Okay, so emotional drivers are, first of all, they are filters, and the intensity is depending on the information. First of all, the basic information, then the meaning you give this information, especially when you have no clarity, when you don't have accurate data, when you don't have accurate information, when you start interpreting. This is what you give. You start interpreting, or even you have all the information, but you give this information your meaning, your point of view. So you're taking your point of view, your world. You bring your world into it. It depends on what meaning you're giving. Maybe you're under pressure. Okay, so information is neutral, data is neutral. The question is, what meaning are you giving to this information? When you're under pressure, maybe you give a different meaning to this information if you're not under pressure. Okay, so the intensity can vary. Let's look at maybe on the left side about discomfort zones and what is it. Okay, so when your emotional filters help you upward, I say upwards in the slide, and getting in the blue, yeah, away from the red, away from the negative, getting into the blue where there's trust, yeah, then you are in control. This means when you're in control, you feel safe. How do you feel safe? How do you feel when you have clarity? How do you get clarity? When you have all the data and information that you need. You also feel safe and you trust when you feel accepted, maybe by your team members, by your boss, by your client, whatever it is. Okay, when you feel accepted, when you feel approved, or when you feel respected, or maybe admired. It also boosts your uh, your emotions. Yeah. Or when you master something, okay, this pushes you towards. This gives you trust. You go towards something. Yeah. And on the other hand, when you go down on the slide, into the red zone, yeah, away from trust, from comfort, into fear, or I say the resistance, or away, you don't feel this, yeah, then it means you are at risk, yeah, or you're out of control. You don't have control about the situation or your emotion, whatever it is. Yeah, you're you're disliked, or you're. This can just mean that you feel disliked. It even doesn't mean that that's the truth. It doesn't mean that somebody dislikes you. You just interpret something, and you feel disliked or disapproved. I give you an example. There are people out there, and as I experienced it many times. You as a manager, you give somebody a feedback, and this person is not hearing the message, is not hearing the support you want to give this message by giving feedback, to give the other person the chance to reflect and to do it better next time, meaning to give them a learning. And some people don't hear this message. Some people only listen on the what I call on the relationship ear and said, oh, I get a negative feedback, this person doesn't like me. It very often happens. There are people outside, they cannot handle feedback. So, but you're given feedback in an honest way just to support the other person to become a better version, to become more successful. And this person is not listening carefully, or this person is always used and triggered, or maybe is had learned this, or maybe it's something happened in their childhood. Yeah, always when my dad said something to me, gave me feedback, I feel disliked, not loved. Yeah. And my dad always gave me a negative feedback. For example, when you never get a positive feedback, always get a negative feedback, and you see the mimic and how the person is talking, maybe your dad, I see this very often, that we have a dad problem, is yeah, this triggers you. And whenever you get a feedback and somebody has really good intention, like a coach, or I don't know, your partner or your colleague, or maybe a client gives you feedback, or your boss gives you feedback, and you can't take it, meaning you're just listening. It's a good feedback, the person likes me. It's a negative feedback, he doesn't like me. But it's not that's not the meaning of feedback. It's just listening and take it to become a better version, on do it the next time better. So, okay, this mean dislike. It's just, it can be interpreted when you feel disapproved, or you may feel disrespected. Yeah. It was also interesting today when we had this summarize with this French company, and what's interesting was when I was listening to the European African manager and the GM who is responsible for a certain company, was one coaching client. And when this came up with these emotions and they had the discussions, I was just listening and observing. And then I said, gentlemen, stop. What I observe, well, and with my experience, is both of you want the same one, but you're talking on different communication levels. It's going too deep, but I just explained it. One person was using a lot of visual words, is very visual communication. The other one was very auditive and kinesthetic words. So you want all the same, but you don't meet in the middle because you misunderstand, you misinterpreted the other one. And I see it also when I did relationship and partner coaching many years ago. They're the two persons, they love each other, but they have different forms of communication. The other person always says to the other person that he or she loves the other person and wants to hear it too. Yeah, so it's auditive, but the other person wants to see it, or wants to feel it. See it means audible, or feel it kinesthetic. So both love the other person, but they have different ways how they communicate it and how they want to approach. And then they separate. but they love each other because they think the other person is not loving because he or she is not saying that she loves me too. I always say I love you because I'm an audio person, but I don't hear from the other person. But maybe the other person shows it to me. Yeah, but I don't respond on it because I'm expecting to hear something instead of seeing something because the other word is a visual. You know what? And this is what I mean. That you're something you feel disrespected or disliked, and maybe this is absolutely not the case. You're just communicating on different levels, and you come together. And I saw this today was just an amazing example many times. Okay, so yeah, so you need really mental strength. What I said a few shows ago, and mental strength is nothing else than the ability to think clearly under pressure. And clear thinking is just to be able to assess a situation accurately. Okay. And some people, as they go into the red zone, they just use defensive thinking. The meaning assessment is based on biased and selective processes. We just put something else that we think that is it. We don't see the whole thing. We don't have clarity. We don't have all the information. Okay, that's about emotional drivers. If you want to dig deeper, you're more than welcome to contact me or my team. We offer our services, I guess, in 8 or 9 different languages, all over this beautiful planet. So we can not only do it in English, in Spanish, in German, in Italian, in French, in Portuguese, in Polish, and in classical Arab. I hope I didn't forget any language, by the way. Okay, so on the next slide, what is the next step? And as I said in the beginning, it's please, if you feel attached to it, start first of all working on yourself before you start coaching or therapying your team members. Okay, and be patient with yourself. Just observe yourself. Are you going easily in the red zone, or are you always sure that when you get information, that you clarify if you have the whole information, you have accurate information, or are you interpreting? Do you have bias processes or selective ones? So really observe yourself maybe the next 2 or 3 weeks to become to become common to it and realize it. What is it? Okay, well, what triggers you? Step by step. So, yes. So on the next episode, we will talk about points of success, meaning when you're working with teams, what does it need that team is performing properly, successfully, focused, on task. And this will be episode 10. Episode 11 will be on task. And on episode 12, I will summarize episode 9, 10, and 11 for you. Well, that's the end. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this had value and has helpful for you. And if you missed something, please go back to the recording. And if you want to dive deeper for yourself, for your management, for your teams, I'm more than happy if you connect us. Thank you so much and enjoy your day.
Bravo, that was excellent. Thank you. A couple of things. I love the fact that you can help people in so many different languages. That's really beneficial because many places only offer English or Spanish. And so we have to look at the fact that we are an inclusive global community. So that's wonderful, Roland.
Absolutely. Yes, I train mostly in German, some stuff in English or in Spanish, but I have team members who are native speaking English, native speaking Spanish, in Italian, in French, in Polish, in classical Arab. Yeah, we can offer the services.
And I also wanted to just comment, and I know you say this each week, but I think it's so important that before you start trying to coach someone else, look at yourself and figure out where are you right now? How do you react when you're under pressure, you're in a negative content loop, you're not having a great day? So before you start, giving feedback to someone else, look at yourself because you're going to be the role model.
Yeah, this is a normal human behaving. You always see the mistakes from other ones before you realize your own mistakes. That's what I always say. Please work on yourself first, because actually I had a very good friend I spent yesterday and last evening. We had a long conversation. And he's a very successful businessman. He's 10 years older than me. He became a mentor 37 years ago, and I became his coach in relationship, and because he's very successful business but struggling in relationship. And we had this communication actually yesterday, and I said, okay, work on yourself first. If you work on yourself, if you change, the whole world is changing. Don't try to change others. Change yourself, become a better version, and then the world is changing. And the same is in business. Work on yourself first. Implement it. Become a, as you said, Dr. Chuck, became a role model. And if you have coaching techniques or experienced, coach your team members. If you need support, my company or any other one who is good in the market, ask a third party to get support and coach your team. Yeah, but always start with yourself first.
Brilliant. Thank you. And Roland, while I have you up on Spotlight, would you share a little bit with our audience about the workshop that you have coming up with me on June the 18th about how to really stand out when you're presenting?
Yeah, yeah, I'm more than happy to do it. Yeah, on June 18th, we are offering a workshop. Actually, the idea was to support our team members on USA Global TV and radio to do a more outstanding performance. But to be honest, Dr. Jacqueline, maybe outside our audience wants to join too, because we have so many people who have an amazing expertise, an amazing knowledge and wisdom, but they're struggling in sharing it. They're struggling in communicating probably in their appearance and the preparation. I always see so many persons who have an amazing knowledge, and then they're losing the audience on screen, on TV, on radio, or in front of the audience, maybe of the team members, or they do a convention or a kickoff meeting, or whatever it is. Because they're struggling with the communication, they don't have a good preparation, they're speaking too loud, too slow, not loud enough. Maybe they have a lot of fillers inside. Maybe they don't have to focus on the audience. Maybe they have not a proper preparation. Maybe they don't know how to build up excitement, how to build up a good story around their knowledge so people can follow it. And this is all about what we're offering on this. I guess it's a 4-hour. We start on a 4-hour workshop on the 18th of June, and all the team members on USA Global TV and Radio welcome. But also, I guess, also our audience is welcome for that, because even if you're not presenting in front of a camera for TV or radio, but you can. It's very useful in presenting in front of your team members or in front of your clients, for example. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, join us.
That's
We're gonna
exactly
have
what I
fun.
was thinking. Yeah. So, for anyone who's interested, each and every person can take this opportunity to work on your skills, because we're all presenting ourselves every day. So, what you can do is you can go over to our website. I'll put this into the comments, which is usaglobaltv.com. Book your session, and you can find this standout actually, I'm going to show it while we're here. Why not? Do you have a minute,
Yeah, sure.
Roland? Okay.
I
I'll
have
just
I
show.
have time. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll just show people how to do it. Let me come back over here. I'm going to share my screen. And here
Yeah,
we
in the
go.
meantime, I can explain a little bit. I have a lot of experience in presentation training. I did many presentation demos to pharmaceutical companies, the agents presenting their new techniques or medication to hospitals, to doctors. Actually, we did it in 3-day seminars with video recording. So don't be afraid. We don't record you on video. We just give you an overview in these 4 hours. And what you really is a good start for you. And if you want to dig deeper, we give you individual coaching.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, you're going to go over to usaglobaltv.com. And I am in the process of updating all of the assets here to have our registration mark. So you'll go over to book your session, and you'll see that we offer many, many different types of shows. You come down here to the bottom. And here it is. Stand out with your performance. And the next offering, as we mentioned, is June 18th at noon. And this is everything on the website is in Eastern Standard Time. And it's 4 hours and it's $197. You just go here to book. And there you go. You just follow the process. Here's all the information about what you can expect. And then, of course, Roland just mentioned one-on-one trainings. are available. Roland, any questions you have while I'm over here?
No, no,
No?
I'm pretty good. I think everyone should join it because you can use it in different aspects in your life, in business, or maybe you're performing art or whatever you're doing. Yeah, it's incredible. Just book the session. And to be honest, when you book directly in my company, it's much more expensive. So it's an amazing opportunity for a very reasonable price to get a lot of tips and hints to become an outstanding presenter. Whatever you're presenting, whatever your audience is, it's worth. Absolutely.
It's a steal, so to speak. The price is so low to get to get you as the workshop facilitator. That's amazing. So please, it's open to everyone. Go ahead and book your session. We'd love to have you join us. All right, I'm going to stop
Yes.
sharing for now. Okay, Roland, as we sign off, I'm going to put up your banner again. And if you can just let people know, I know you shared, there's so many things that you offer and so many ways that you help people. You personally and professionally have helped me with your mentoring and coaching as I built this platform out. So I would highly encourage people to reach out to you and to work with you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. Yeah, it's interesting. I met a very good friend. He's the arch executive manager of a huge company, and I said, Roland, you know what? Because I remember when I launched my new website by an agency, by the way, that is absolutely fantastic, Sam and his team, and he said, what is because we know for many years, and actually he was one of my students when I did my NLP trainer and coaching. He did it, and I was one of the trainers there. And he said, you know what, you have such an amazing broad experience and expertise that some people don't believe this. Yeah. Some people need, I don't know, maybe 20 or 50 lifetimes for your experience. And they always asking me, why are you doing this? I said, first of all, well, we're streaming TV is different. I never was watching TV. I was always reading, learning, educating myself. And yeah, and that's why I have this broad expertise. And he said, you know what? What's really amazing is your agency and yourself. You really have made this miracle on your website. That is, everything is clear what you're doing. It's not like it's too much. It's just clear. You split it in different areas, and this broad agenda comes from my expertise. I said it, I guess I said it the show before. This year I'm celebrating my 29th anniversary of becoming 30 years old. But it's not 59. No, it's 58 because 30, 31 is also 58 years old. And I actually had a conversation with my girlfriend a few months ago because a company was asking me if I can do some interim management. They wanted a CV, and I never have used a CV. I will never ask for that. And so we had a conversation about how many jobs I paid ones, yeah, paid jobs I did in my past, different ones. Um, well, to be honest, some of them are not for a CV. Like I was a photo model, I was a bodyguard, I was working as a security person, I was working as a reader for blind professors. I was reading their articles, stuff like that. Sitting in the dark, sitting in the dark. I was reading for them because they are blind. I was a dishwasher. I was constructing houses. I was and still am a coach. And so I did so many stuff. It was always interesting. I went to 4 different universities just to learn, to listen. I was reading. When I was driving in my cars years ago, when I was on salesperson, I was always listening to tapes. Yeah, I was always using my time to make a better version of myself. And I'm still a student. And that's what I can share with you is it's not theory. Of course, I did a lot of reading, but I had a lot of experience. I was a salesperson working for a company. I was a sales manager working for a company. I was a person by myself in my own companies. I was in top management as an employee. I was a top manager for myself because I had a company with 8,000 people worldwide. So I have a lot. It's not only stuff I heard, I read, or I saw. No, it's a lot of my own experience because I was always building up companies and I learned so much from that. I still do. That was what drives me. And that's what I like to share with you because I strongly believe you don't have to make all the mistakes I did in the past.
I'm laughing. You're so transparent. I love it. So Well, Roland, that was another great show, and I'm looking forward to having you with us tomorrow for the business show as well as the men's show.
Yes, yes. I'm looking forward to that too tomorrow. Can't wait for that.
And before we sign off, would you just like to give an overview of the men's show for people who haven't watched it and let them know where they can watch it?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. Yeah, the mention, I'm very excited about that because this baby about men's work I started 2 years ago. As I mentioned, I was working with international companies and organizations worldwide with top managers. And as I would say, is first of all, I'm a human being, and secondly, I'm a man. And I was working with men. And men are very competitive. You know, I am the best one. I am the most successful one. I have I don't know, the fastest car, the biggest house, whatever it is, the most beautiful girl, whatever it is. Men are very, very competitive on one way. On the other hand, we are educated and thrilled by our parents in school or military. Don't show emotions. Emotions are weak. Yeah? And on the other hand, we have girls, women who are very expressive. They always express emotion men don't do. And then I always see the feedback. And actually, I heard it from from my life, from my love also said, Roland, you're a successful businessman, yes, but I want to know your inner world. And I didn't understand in the beginning. And I found out with many, many conversations with other men. So many of these top managers became very good friends where we go out for dinner or something like that. And when we are not in the group, so there's no competition, we're just face to face, eye to eyes, when they open up in a trusted uh, atmosphere, they tell me the same. They're not aware about emotion. Most of them can't even name their emotions or even express their emotion. So I started this men's group to help them to become a better version of themselves in their roles as a lover, as a father, as a son. Most are triggered by their father, as a colleague, as a boss. So in all these different roles we have as a man on a platform called Sparring for Men. You can find this on the website. And then this idea came to bring this to a broader audience on this amazing platform on USA Global TV and radio. And we started actually just 2 weeks ago this wonderful show. This is named by a book a person I highly appreciate by John Eldridge, who does an amazing job for the men's too. John Eldridge, his book, and it's an absolute must read for every man, Wild at Heart. So we call the show yeah, on how to say it in English, on appreciating or on welcoming or acknowledging John Eldridge's work. We call it Wild at Heart, real authentic account. So it's a real show, real man. It's authentic because there's so much stuff fake out there, especially on social media. It's real, it's authentic, and it's uncut. It's live. It's no agenda, no script. We are right now we are 7 men on board, so between 5 and 7 men. Sometimes somebody can show up for any reason. So we have 7 men live on USA Global TV, and it's a show by men, for men, about men. We talk about different topics. I guess the last show was about hobbies, why hobbies are important. What does a hobby say about yourself? And I guess maybe tomorrow the content will be like why men need men to talk. Interesting. And I just came back from a men's festival. This was one of the main topics, why men need men to talk. So that's the show. It can be very deep, the content, the topics that we discuss. It can be also, I wouldn't say shallow, but man stuff. I don't know. Maybe I buy an e-car like a Tesla. Sorry for the commercial, or I buy a V8 or what do you think? Should I shave myself or have a hipster beard, or what stuff do you use? So just man's topics, real, authentic, uncut.
And another thing I love about this show is that the panelists overall did not know each other. And just watching from the first episode and seeing how they're getting along, and I can see friendships and collaborations coming from this as a result. I think it's really super fantastic. And again, you're the one who had the idea and brought it to me. So bravo.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, it was just by the panelists. Good idea. Yeah, I was the connector. So the other guys they didn't know each other before, but they're friends of mine. So we have 2 amazing guys, 2 business guy, very successful business guy from the Middle East, so different culture. We have a very good friend of mine from Mexico. We have somebody from Poland. We have somebody from Czech, from Germany. We have somebody from the UK, and different backgrounds, but we all have one in common. We are humans, we are men, and we want to support, or I would say inspire other men to find the best man. And it's interesting, by the way, then I finish. I wrote a study that over 80% of men don't have a best friend. I mean, they have a friend to go out to have a beer party, go to a rodeo or a soccer game or whatever it is. Yes, but I mean a best friend where they really open up. We're not competing about jokes and stuff like that. Really open up and talking about their inner world, about their anxieties, their fear, the doubts. Over 80% of men don't have a best friend they can trust and really open up. That's why we are offering this and give you a chance, because the first thing your healing process starts just by listening to other men and being, oh, I'm not the only one who's struggling. There's other men outside with different backgrounds, successful maybe in business, who are struggling too. This is the first step towards healing.
So important, Roland, the work that you're doing, and all the panelists. So thank you to you, and thank you to each and every one of them. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think we're going to sign off for now. That was another fabulous program. Please do go over to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV, and you can go and subscribe. We would love to have you. Interestingly enough, I've showed this before, but the last 3 months, 100% of the viewership on the YouTube channel are from males from 45 to 54 in age. I think that's really fascinating. So it's a great place for the guys to be. We've got to get the ladies over there too, but the ladies are watching on the other platforms. So
Yeah,
all right, that's
okay.
all we have for right now. Roland and I are signing off. We wish you a pleasant evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye.